Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Lucia and this is Lulu's Leaves.
I'm no good at being good, but I never said I was. And I feel misunderstood, cause I'm trying hard to love.
In today's video, I want to go through some really awesome plants with you guys. I want to show you some of my velvet-leaved houseplants. I know you guys really love them just like I do. So I wanted to go through them and show you some that haven't been giving me a lot of trouble. There is one in here that I did mention in a video about difficult houseplants, but you'll see what I'm talking about when I get there. Before we do get straight on into the video though, if you guys are not already subscribed, don't forget to do so by clicking the red button down below. Also give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy it. Also, if you want to join the giveaway for a $20 Amazon gift card, don't forget to leave a comment as well, as that will get you entered. If you're interested in becoming a member of this channel to gain access to a really awesome Discord server, definitely check out the memberships down below as well. There's a link in the description as well as a membership button. If you see it, sometimes you do, sometimes you don't. It says join. But that is going to be all before we get on into the video. I really hope you guys enjoy it. The first plant that I want to show you guys is one that I have really fallen in love with over the last few weeks. It is a part of my favorite genus right now, and it is just blowing up with growth. It has been so easy. I water it when it's dry, and it has been the easiest plant of this genus to take care of. And I am talking about, yep, it gets bigger every time, my Syngonium Wendlandii. This plant was 6 leaves about 2 months ago, and now you can see there's obviously a lot more than 6 leaves. It has the most beautiful velvety texture on any plant that I've seen at this price point. Honestly, you get so much bang for your buck with this plant. They are typically inexpensive, and they also grow really quickly, so if you wanted to propagate them and make your money back, this is a great plant to do that because it just continues to grow and grow. This one is also in a pretty low light situation, so if you don't have a ton of light, this is also a great plant for you. While this one specifically is great for low light, velvety plants are usually pretty good in low light because they have a tendency to burn a little bit easier than a shiny leaf for some reason. So because of that, I like to keep them in lower light areas. They don't always grow as quickly, but they do seem to grow healthier and with deeper, darker leaves, which we all really love on those velvety plants. So if you're looking for a budget-friendly velvet-leaved plant, the Syngonium Wendlandii is a really, really great option. And you can see just the detail on these leaves, the sparkling silver down the center. It's just so, so beautiful. But yeah, it's definitely a great plant to have a part of your collection, especially as a Syngonium lover like I am right now. Next up, I want to talk about a plant that I got in a trade a little while ago now. It hasn't been that long, but this plant has been really, really easy going for me. I have heard from some other people that it hasn't been as easy for them, but I really haven't had any issues other than myself ripping the leaf on one of them and causing a little bit of yellowing and browning there. But otherwise, this plant is super duper easy for me. I keep it in my IKEA greenhouse cabinet, or I did. Now it's outside of the cabinet, but it's at about 40% humidity and it's doing just fine. I am talking about this beautiful Anthurium Villaneorum. It is, nope, no thanks. This plant has some really beautiful, striking, long leaves. It's really weird, but I honestly find this plant has some similar characteristics to a Philodendron gloriosum. The veining in it is very similar. The color contrast seems to be pretty similar for me too. I don't know if I'm crazy for saying that, but that's just where my head goes. It also has a beautiful new leaf on the way there. Sorry, I don't know how well the camera is gonna get that, but this leaf just came out, so it's still definitely growing. I expect it to be around the same size as these guys, but if not, that's okay. I'm not super picky, but I am very excited to see some new growth, especially because I actually just cut an inflorescence off this plant. So I thought that it might take a little bit more time to get a new leaf out of this plant, but I was wrong. It's actually going really, really quickly. If you guys can get your hands on one of these guys, I definitely recommend it. I really do love this plant. I know that they're not super accessible right now, especially not at this size. I do think a lot of people have been importing them lately, but they're usually quite a bit smaller. But yeah, no, I really do love the size of this plant, and I feel lucky because there really aren't too many of them. So this is the Anthurium Villaneorum, really beautiful, easy velvet leaf plant. Next up is a plant that has literally been the easiest houseplant for me to take care of over the last little bit, other than the fact that these leaves sometimes get stuck in their sheaths, similar to a lot of other philodendrons. But I am talking about my beautiful Philodendron El Chaco Red. That leaf is just so stunning. I can't get over how beautiful this houseplant is. This is the most perfect leaf on this plant. Since then, it put out this leaf that's a little bit more folded back and cup-like, with a little bit of damage there, just getting stuck, and then you can see the damage there too. But other than this plant getting stuck in its sheath sometimes, it is a really super easy plant to take care of, and even if you let it dry out a little bit too much, the leaves typically stay pretty okay. They don't even get that droopy, which I guess depending on who you are, that might be a good thing or it might be a bad thing. Sometimes I do like to see if my plants need water by them drooping, but I do appreciate this plant's drought tolerance, and I just absolutely love these leaves. It is very closely related to the Philodendron luxurians. A lot of people call these the luxurians even though they are not, but I am really, really looking forward to eventually finding that luxurians because I love this one so much. But if you want the luxurians and you can't afford the price tag and you want something easy, because the luxurians is not, this is a great, great plant. You also get those amazing red backs on these leaves that stay around for quite some time. But yeah, the Philodendron El Chaco Red should never be forgotten. This is a great plant and just so easy to grow. Another really, really nice thing about it is the fact that these leaves get really big in size pretty quickly. I started off with a really tiny plant less than a year ago, and it's put out so many leaves. A lot of them have died back now just because obviously it can only support so many leaves, but it really has grown up really quickly. So yeah, if you want something really easygoing and something a little bit more fancy, this is a great plant for you. This next plant is one that looks a little bit more rough right now, but it is also very easy to take care of. This is the Philodendron Melanocrysom. The only reason this plant looks a little bit rough is because I always forget to water it, and it is in sphagnum moss, so it gets nice and crunchy when you don't water it, and it can cause some damage to the plant. But this is another plant that is just so easy to take care of. It really does tell you when it needs water. It does droop a little bit. Unlike the Philodendron El Chaco Red. The leaves on this one are a little bit more thin than the El Chaco, which I think is why it does droop a little bit. Typically when you have a thinner leaved plant, they are going to be a little bit more dramatic in terms of watering, but this plant is so rewarding and just gives off these really beautiful contrasted leaves that I just can't get over. Look how pillowy they are. There's like a black color in there as well as brown and green. So nice. I've really been wanting to put this plant on a moss pole, and I really need to get some soil because I want to transfer it over to soil. It's just been in moss for a while, and I think that I am stunting the growth a little bit just having it in this moss and forgetting to water it, because again, if you let moss dry out, it is worse than letting soil dry out. So yeah, I want to definitely get this one going on a moss pole once I can transfer it into some soil so that we can get some bigger leaves, but it's doing so well considering how badly I neglect it, and it's looking really nice. I do have two plants in this pot. One is a rehab plant here. This is the only nice leaf on this one, and then it has these other kind of ugly lower leaves. And then we have this really beautiful one that I grew from a wet stick. But yeah, really beautiful plant. So the last plant I want to show you guys is the one that I had on a difficult plant list. But I did mention in that video that I was mostly talking about smaller versions of this plant, and I am talking about my Philodendron Melanocrysom. This plant is honestly really easy going for me. It hasn't grown a ton, but I still do love it just as much as any of my other fast growing plants. It is really super easy though. When this leaf was coming out, I just made sure to spray the sheath a lot so that it didn't get stuck, but the newest leaf came out really perfectly, as you can see here. So it is definitely easier than some of the smaller Melanocrysoms. So if you are going to get one of these and you want it to be a little bit easier, you may have to spend a little extra to get a larger version, or you can test your luck with a smaller one, of course. But I'm just wanting to explain my experience and the fact that the larger Melanocrysom does a lot better than a small one for me. I think that goes for a lot of plants. Once plants get a little more established, they just tend to grow a little bit better. I don't know if that kind of happens for you guys too, but that's just where I'm at. But yeah, definitely a really great plant and a favorite in my collection. I just love it in this like boho basket. I think it brings this plant down back to earth a little bit. So yeah guys, that is going to be it for this video. I really hope you guys did enjoy it. I really enjoyed making it for you guys. It was really fun picking out these plants because they are some of my overall favorites for sure. But yeah, it's just been nice to pull some plants out that I haven't shown you guys in a little bit. Before I say goodbye though, don't forget to enter this week's giveaway. I will be announcing the winner, I believe on Thursday or Friday of this week, so stay tuned for that. Don't forget, all that you have to do to enter is subscribe, like this video, and also leave a comment down below, whatever you would like. And if you want to join as a member, you can also do so by clicking the link in the description down below, or the join button if you can see it. Anyways guys, that's going to be all from me. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Bye!